Hello everyone, my name is Serge and I have cancer. Sorry for the blatant title, but in today's world of, BuzzFeed and Upworthy, I gotta do something to get your attention, you know what I mean? And I don't have the editing skills or the movie making skills to do it just with the video alone. In fact, I'm making this video with my webcam and with Windows Movie Maker, which I'm using for the very, very first time. So bear with me here. But as my friends already know, um, I have been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma on February 3rd and have already been dealing with several of the ups and downs of this illness. It is now March 20th and plenty of things have happened. But before I get into that, I wanted to say a big thank you to the people that inspired me to make this video. And I wouldn't be where I am today without these fine, fine people. Thank you to Lindsay, thank you to Kristina, and thank you to Megan for being the first people to inform me about what was to come, to help put my mind at ease, to answer all of the questions that I've had, no matter how stupid or how frequent or how inappropriate, just whatever was there, you guys really helped me out. And I have to absolutely thank you for it. This video is dedicated to people like you. And this video is also dedicated to my new friend Kate, who I met this past Thursday. Now, Kate, just like me, has lymphoma, and I overheard her and her parents talking at the same cancer treatment facility where I am at, Sloan Kettering in Manhattan. Now, I'm undergoing ABVD chemotherapy, but I'm also getting this drug called Rituximab because of the particular markers that I have in my pathology. CB20, I believe. If I'm messing up the scientific stuff, apologize in advance. Um, my mom's actually been handling most of the scheduling and most of the other stuff for me, and I am super thankful. But in any case, when I overheard Kate and her parents talking, they were talking about how she had the exact same treatment coming up as I did, where the ABVD chemotherapy, uh, followed by the very first dose of rituximab, which in total could take anywhere from 8 hours or even more. So that is not something that is very common with lymphoma patients because rituximab has only been out of clinical trials fairly recently. So all the forums and blogs that you can visit, there's still very little information about this. So when I overheard, I thought it was almost my duty to kind of butt in, so to speak, and say something and help put Kate's mind at ease the same way that Lindsay, Kristina, and Megan helped me out. So this video is dedicated to you guys. I wanted to make this into a multi-part series where I just talk about all the different stuff that's been going on. You know, the ups, the downs, the big things, the little things, and hopefully give some of the people that are affected by this disease a little bit of peace of mind. Because in these tough times, peace of mind can go a long way. And you know what? Sometimes I'll even share some jokes, some stuff that doesn't really make the rounds of these blogs or these forum posts. For example, I am ambidextrous, but in a weird way. I write with my right hand. I do a bunch of other stuff with my left hand, but both hands are pretty good at doing stuff. But I never realized that I could only wipe my ass with my right hand until I had the chemotherapy IV right in here, and boy, that was not a realization you want to come to. So, if you're if you're watching this and you're going to be getting chemotherapy soon, please make sure they stick you in the hand that you don't use to wipe your ass. especially if you're getting the 8-hour treatment. You're going to want to poop. So, where do I start the story? I guess I start with the diagnosis. A day I remember uh, almost exactly February 3rd, but I guess I should start a little bit ahead of time. Uh, in January, everything was going good. I was sitting at work, and then, just kind of leaning back, relaxing. And when I leaned back, I noticed a little bump on my neck. Uh, really freaked me out. I didn't know what to make of it. So I gave it a week. It didn't go away on its own. I went to an ear, nose, and throat specialist. I got a needle biopsy, and eventually on February 3rd, I got the news. I have Hodgkin's lymphoma. I Tough to think about, but I immediately felt a rush of calm because I played hockey till the end of college since I was a kid. And one of my hockey heroes growing up has been Mario Lemieux. And I always wanted to be like Mario Lemieux when I grew up, but I always thought that meant being a big hockey star, not getting cancer at the age of 30. But, sometimes life goes other plans. But yeah, I remember the weekend before that quite well because it was fun. I had a friend's engagement party on a Friday. My wonderful CrossFit gym was throwing a Super Bowl party that Sunday, and there was a pretty good episode of Monday Night Raw that Monday. And I remember distinctly it ended with Daniel Bryan fighting Seth Rollins. By the way, I'm probably going to make a lot of references on this channel. You probably would have guessed that already that I'm a wrestling nerd by this incredible Dasher Hatfield shirt. So yeah, lots of wrestling references. But the timeline since February 3rd just kind of snowballed. Everything went really quickly. Uh, February 10th, I was at Sloan Kettering for the first time doing all sorts of tests. The PET scan, a breathing test, a bunch of blood tests, a heart test, the EKG, I believe. And all of that stuff was pretty easy, but it's just still nerve-wracking because that's when it gets real. That's when it hits you. So if you're listening to this and this is the kind of stuff you have coming up, don't worry. That part's really easy. I understand you're going to be worried, you're going to be nervous, but just relax. You're in good hands. And by 2015, all of this stuff is so incredibly, incredibly treatable that you're just going to pull through. But yeah, that first day of test, it really messes with your head a little bit. February 11th, they cut a little piece of my lymph node. Figure, might as well show it to you. The scar that I have right there, if you could see it, went under. It was a pretty quick operation. I got some really sweet stitches out of it that I kept in for 2 weeks. And, that was another part of it. I saw my oncologist for the first time the next day. She is a wonderful, wonderful woman, Dr. Carol Portlock from Sloan Kettering. I feel like I am in wonderful hands with her. And then the chemo was scheduled, and all I had to do was go donate sperm. That's probably something that I would devote an entire video to because that's kind of a hilarious adventure, donating sperm. But yeah, there is a chance that chemotherapy might ruin my reproductive system. And the doctors have told me that I shouldn't try to have kids naturally for 2 years. So that's not something you think about, and until you do. that's a subject for a future video. If you want to check out my Instagram, I have some pictures from there with their ridiculously hilarious pornography selection. February 23rd, I had an infection, which I was hospitalized for before chemo, and I'll do a video on that on its own at some other time. That's a long story, and this is just supposed to be, I guess, an intro video. And chemo got pushed back to March 12th, which was last Thursday. It was a long day. I came in, everything kind of started at 8:15 in the morning, and I only left the hospital around 8 in the evening. When they started administering the chemotherapy, I don't remember exactly what time it was, but I brought a bunch of comic books to read. The facility was really nice, and they made the experience as comfortable as possible for me. So once again, thank you to the wonderful people at Sloan Kettering. The Rituximab was administered for a very long time. Like I said, this is still a brand new drug, and my Rituximab treatment is once a week, every 6 weeks. Once a week for 6 weeks. And my chemo is once every 2 weeks for 8 sessions or 12 sessions, depending how much it works. Now, with Rituximab, the first time they administer it to you, it takes your body a long time to absorb it because of its chemical and biological makeup. And they have to monitor you for immediate reactions. I got hives. According to Megan, my wonderful nurse friend, who I gotta keep giving shout outs to, about 1/3 of people get hives when they get Rituximab. Thankfully, there was also an IV of Benadryl that they hooked me right up to, and everything went away. They slowed down the Rituximab until the dosage was finished. So around 7 something, I was done, went home and ate and slept like a baby, I'll be honest with you. And I didn't feel any side effects that Friday. The chemo was on a Thursday, so I barely felt anything on Friday. Saturday, I woke up feeling a tiny bit fatigued, and I felt like I had a little bit of a hangover, but nothing too crazy. And then it really, really hit me late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, right in the middle of the night. That's when all of the bad symptoms started. I'm talking about puking. I'm talking about a little bit of fever. I'm talking about complete and total restlessness. It was the worst night possible for my side effects. And I spent most of the next day in bed. But thankfully, with some sleep and some food and some patience, I was pretty much 100% the next day back on my feet. And my second Rituximab treatment was yesterday. Feel pretty great. That stuff has absolutely no side effects. I really hope that they keep pushing this stuff in the future based on what I read. And now I'm here with you, obviously with enough energy to shoot a video and hopefully edit it properly, but I'm not making any promises on the editing. So that's really it for now. If there's one thing that I wanted to say, and one thing that's been worth mentioning, is how wonderful people have been to me during this whole ordeal. My family, first and foremost, and also my friends. Everyone has stepped up so much, and everyone's offering to do whatever they can do to help. You have completely humbled me. Thank you so much for everything that you've done, no matter how little it seems. So just your kind words are enough to help me get through the day, you know. And heck, I've even gotten support and love from strangers and brand new friends. So maybe people aren't so bad after all. You know, we keep seeing a bunch of bad stuff happen around the world, but I can tell you firsthand that people are wonderful if given the chance. So thank you. Uh, there's one moment in particular I wanted to highlight, and it went on February 14th. So this was shortly after my diagnosis. I had gotten my tests, my biopsy, and my oncology appointment that week. It was a Friday, and my friend Jerome invited me over to his place to watch terrible movies. And boy, did we ever see a terrible movie. It was called Samurai Cop. Now, with a name like Samurai Cop, you know exactly what this movie is going to be about. I don't want to tell you too much about it. You just have to do yourself a favor and see this movie. It is beautiful. It is a cinematic masterpiece. Now, during Samurai Cop, uh, it was only 11 days since my diagnosis, and that's all I could really think about. But that time watching Samurai Cop was the first time that I really let go and completely forgot that there was anything bad happening. You know, it was the first time in those 11 days that I felt normal. And I have to thank my friend Jerome and all of my friends that were there at his house that day for that fantastic moment and just the uplifting experience that it was. So thank you guys. Thank you guys so, so, so much. So I guess this is it for my first video. Keep an eye out for more. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to talk about in the future, besides the promised sperm bank video and the complication video. But hey, that's two. So, oh, also, I've been dealing with the chemo brain, as they call it, the little brain fog that comes after chemotherapy, by purchasing a brand new PlayStation 4. Best decision I ever made. So I'll probably make a video on that, or just random other stuff, my pro wrestling fandom, my CrossFit fandom, anything else really. The New Jersey Devils, my favorite hockey team, or whatever else comes to mind. But for now, this is it, and I'll see you next time.